We'll call the meeting to order. It's 7:06 is the time I have. Um, First item is public comment. I don't believe I see anyone from the public. There are no attendees, just panelists.
No, I turned it off.
Ron, any feedback from the high school or from Avon that you guys that he presented with last month?
Him and Bruce are gonna be meeting this week.
Oh, this week. Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Dylan.
No problem.
Friday at 3:30, I think we decided on, and I'll talk to him about, what the next steps are. And see if I can get a meeting with, Connecticut DOT, to at least, try to move it forward a little bit.
All right, we'll move on to new business, seeing as no public comment is present. First item, Ron, you brought this up, public informational seminars. Ron, are you up for it?
Yes. So I had noticed that other towns were doing quite a few seminars. And as we get deeper into our application for bike-friendly community, I'm going to suggest, because we definitely have the talented people on this board, is that we do a bike repair seminar. And then I think it would be really cool to have a commuting and vacationing by bicycle seminar. Because we've got the commuters and we've got the bike vacationers. I can easily get either the community center or another room to hold one of these. So it would just be a matter of, I don't want to call out people's names, but to get the right people.
What are you trying to say, Ron?
So Matt, Andres, and Dickie, Rich, I think you guys it would be such a kick-ass event. Just so much information you guys have. And I think that'd be pretty cool. If we could do one of those maybe on a spring evening. Maybe
Matt, is
Matt, you should
Central-
do a slideshow with all your slides from your stuff. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I could put something together. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Is Central Wheel interested in any of that stuff? Because I know at the bike rodeo, Trek Newington gave us a whole bunch of $20 coupons to the shop and sponsored it. Keeping it in the town, would Central Wheel do something?
I can ask Jeff. Yeah, it might be something we could pull off. What exactly did they do that you used them for?
They had the corporate Trek, $20 gift card coupons. Come spend it in the shop for, it wasn't even a 20 off 100. It was like flat $20. Come and spend it.
Well, Jeff did give us something. I remember.
Okay. Oh, maybe water bottles?
Yes. Yep. We had a whole bunch of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
a bike mechanic too from Central Wheel, right?
Oh, that's true. Right. Yeah, that was great.
Sure did. Yep. Yeah.
He
So
was from Central Wheel, right?
Yeah,
Yes, he was.
that was Brian Ferris.
Yeah.
he
Okay.
was so good. Yeah. So and then we can revisit again. We can, it'd be nice if we really got in really tight with Central Wheel. Like, we keep dropping the ball, I feel, but it would be nice to have that, them as one of our biggest sponsors. I think it would benefit us both. Maybe even get another bike walk banner put in there. So, two different things we're talking about, but definitely. So, is Rich here right now? Rich is not here. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
he's
here.
here. He's
No,
here.
I'm here. I
Oh,
was on
Rich,
mute.
so,
Sorry. Yeah, I'm here.
so would you be interested in one evening sharing your, some of your tips and what to do and what not to do and experiences?
Yeah, certainly. Be a blast.
All right, cool.
You guys
Yeah,
want to
so,
set a date now? I've got, while we're all here,
So,
or do we need to see
So I
what's
had,
available for rooms?
yeah, why don't we just wait? Only because I'm sitting here laying here in a hospital bed because I had
Uh-oh.
back surgery and I was supposed to go
Holy
home, but they
crap,
wouldn't
Ron.
let me. I threw a tantrum and they still wouldn't let me. But
Oh,
anyway,
man. Well, hopefully you're healing up quickly.
well, thanks. I appreciate it. So we
Yeah,
can
get
go
well,
back and
Ron, and I
forth.
hope the drugs don't make you talk more.
I was waiting to see who the first was. I didn't have my money on you, Matt.
If you're going to serve
That's
something up like
funny.
that, I'm hitting it out of the park.
I
This is
know.
being recorded, so it'll live, we can replay it
Oh,
if he
that's so
starts
funny
talking
too.
crazy.
No,
All of a sudden, Ron goes on mute.
yeah, no, I'll be good. I have everything scripted here in front of me.
How do we know it's
So
you
what?
talking and not AI?
We actually don't. Yeah, good point. But do you guys think that that's a good idea? I think we I want to try to keep up with the other towns. Simsbury, for instance, is just going to town on these seminars, and we have people just as good.
Yeah, Ron. So I can't do Monday, Wednesday, Friday because we got bike team practices those days.
Okay,
But
so
Tuesday, Thursday, I should be able to fit something.
so we can go back and forth on
Yeah.
Emails and figure that out. All right.
So,
We could
I
all ride.
also-
We could all ride our bikes in there too, so people could see, the commuting rig that we each have.
Definitely.
The
and then
libraries, they were also kind of eager to get a seminar too. So like if you ever wanted to do more than one, I think the libraries, they're kind of like hungry for like always new programming. And
Who is
Ron,
this, Carolyn?
do you remember talking to Amy, the librarian at the Barney Library?
Oh yeah, yeah.
we got the community room at the main library, and that's probably got pretty good availability. I think it'd be cool to have all of us ride in there with our gear. And I mean, if we did it, things like that every quarter, you do one in the fall time about winter riding, because everybody believes you can't go riding in the wintertime. And so that would be pretty sweet.
And that's a good idea too, because then we can say, okay, well, we're heading into our coldest months here in New England, and this is how you can stay on your bike. Yep.
I think the most
Perfect.
important thing is to at least judge interest with the first one and see how it goes.
Yes. And we can even incorporate, so I've always believed that the deterrent for a lot of new people is from cycling is that they just simply don't know how to change a bike tire. And once they learn that, then they feel a lot more empowered, I guess, or just they feel like, okay, well, that was my biggest problem. Now I can go out there. So I think if we include how to change a tire, that could be helpful too. Okay, so let's keep this going in a email chat.
Great.
Okay,
I will
thanks, Ron.
start one tonight, right after the meeting.
Okay.
Okay. And maybe this is something that we could do either quarterly or at the beginning of each season. Something like that, or just in the spring each year. But that would to make it a reoccurring thing, or at least appear to be a reoccurring thing, it might be well for our application.
Definitely. Excellent. Thank you.
Of course.
All
And
right.
just to get that straight, Andres, Rich, Matt, was there anyone else interested?
If you guys wanted to have it at the library, I know a lot of people at the library. I'm there a lot.
All right, I'll add you to the list too,
Yeah.
Carolyn.
And I can certainly speak to a variety of different things. Something that people might want to be interested in is, bicycle and pedestrian advocacy in general. How do you do that? The political elements of that. So I can certainly, I've spoken all around the country on that. So,
Okay.
let me
Right.
know what you think people would like to hear, and I can probably tailor something to
Okay.
that.
All right, well, I'll keep the list as I have it unless anyone wants to jump in or out for now. But if you want to jump in, let me know later in the meeting or send me an email. If you want to jump out, just say you want out. And then I think we can move to the next item. Ron, you had a bike to school audit and update.
All right. So I just had a Zoom yesterday. Carolyn and I did with Kristen at the state in charge of safe routes to school. And so in order for us to get a safe routes to school audit, which there are two different types, and we can go into that more. One actually goes to each school, it's more involved, and it looks for all of the inadequacies and what would need to be done on a larger scale. That needs to be triggered by either the town hall or a school admin reaching out to Kristen. And I can forward that information to you,
Okay.
Dylan. And along with the website, I'll send, it's actually Safe Routes to School, whatever, Connecticut, you'll be able to find it.
Sure.
And it sounds like a great place to start as far as us trying to kind of connect the dots from neighborhoods to our schools. So the other thing which I thought was a great idea is that the state, when they released this, kind of rebranded it as more of a bike, walk, and roll to school. So obviously, for many reasons, that's a great idea, because a lot of our principals are concerned about children being left out because they don't have a bicycle. So if we can make the walking and the rolling, i.e. rollerblades or
Yep.
roller skates or scooters, just as important as cycling, then I don't think anyone would feel left out. So I think we'll change the name from bike to school to, bike, walk, and roll. And I know we have several meetings coming up with different schools, and we can let them know that.
So Ron, just a question on that. Is it up to us to name this, or, I mean, kind of the way I look at this is we're trying to encourage the schools to do this, but they ultimately need to own it, right? It's not our program.
Correct. So I think, Neil, from some of the feedback we've been getting from some of these meetings is that they are concerned about not being able to make this available to everyone, right? Do you think this would be a move in the right direction for us?
Well, I'm just saying that I think we need to leave it up to them. I can't solve those issues for them. I can help answer questions and stuff like that, but
that's a good point.
Name at every school.
Very good point. So let's do that then.
Okay.
Let's leave it totally up to them.
All right. What do others think?
Yes. All right.
I
And
feel like we do have some influence because I think principals they're not nearly as familiar with like cycling or walking as we are. So we do kind of like hold their hand through a lot of it, and if they might be open to our suggestions, if nothing else.
And we do ultimately want to leave this long term for them to run, especially
Yeah.
with what, 5 different schools on different days.
Yeah.
And Union can do it themselves, but it also gives us a chance to get out there in front of our public.
True.
So yeah, so let's do that. Let's just read the room and see what they want to do. The other interesting thing, I think both of us were interested in this, is that depending on I'm losing my train of thought, on the like Safe Routes to School organization, if you will, they will actually send people out to assist us, to be available, to hand out information, there's a lot that they will help us in the actual event. So that's pretty cool too, to have that resource. And I believe, Carolyn, you already sent Kristen a list, right, of our
Yeah.
dates?
She wanted us
Yep.
to register all the schools and send her the list of the dates, so she should have those. And that I think the more they kind of hear about our schools being involved, the more likely they are to kind of help out and to offer resources and all that.
Yes, and then she directed us to a place on the website where, and Carolyn already did this, was to register our events, right, Carolyn?
Yes. So we've got all 4 elementary schools and the upper elementary school registered. The only 2 schools that haven't really picked a date are Noah Wallace and the upper elementary school. So, but yeah, so they're all there, and they have kind of like a public site where they list events, and I don't know if they list them after they happen or whatnot. So it's kind of nice that the schools will be kind of listed as it has it like involved as having a bike to school day. So that's good.
And then when people search it from other places, they kind of know, okay, well, Farmington, Connecticut is on the map as far as a bike to school program, which is good publicity too. So I think that covers that. And I would definitely recommend going to that website and just checking out the entire program. There's a lot of cool resources. Everything all the way down to flyers already printed where you can just add your own information. So that's it for that.
Okay, thank you, Ron.
Mhm.
I think moving forward, seeing as the group wants the schools to take this over as an annual thing, if when new material comes out, and I know you guys are always watching, send it to either myself or the group. That way, or directly to the school. That way we can get it to the school as soon as new material comes out. And it will be a constant reminder to them that, oh yeah, we need to start planning bike to school day, or bike walk and roll to school day, or whatever they'd like to call it.
Mhm.
All right.
Yep. Good idea.
Does anyone have any new business items to add tonight?
I'm sorry, Dylan, so were you going to find out who wants to request the school audit?
I can look into that.
Or, okay, or, I can, if I had the right, like, who would I reach out to? Superintendent of schools or, well, I'll let you look into it.
Yeah, why don't I look into it? I'll figure it out.
Okay, and then let me know if they need any questions answered,
Okay.
and I can help them along with it.
Let me just write that down. Hold on. We're gonna move on to old business then, if no one has any last minute new items.
I'll just add
Well,
quick.
I do.
I'll add a quick new item, Dylan.
Okay.
I emailed, I think I just replied to everybody just off the cuff yesterday. How neat it would be if we had a bike ped coordinator in the town position. And, the only thing that got me thinking about that was Bruce's Brian's comment that he's got to go to a budget meeting. And it's probably too late for this year. But if we really want to take, this to the next level, it takes a lot of time. And, everybody working full-time jobs in addition to volunteering however we can, I think we'd make a lot more progress if we actually had a paid part-time position to get a lot of these things done. And so I don't know what everybody else thinks, but it was also one of the league's recommendation for a town our size that they actually have a full-time bike ped coordinator, on town staff. And I thought we could kind of just dip our toes in the water by doing part-time, see how it goes. And if that's not possible for this year, next season, whatever, at least we get the discussion going and prioritize it as we see fit to recommend to Brian to bring to the board for maybe next year. And then that could also go on our league application too.
If I can just jump in, thank you for bringing that up, because Carolyn and I both looked at each other with open mouths like, wow, that really does exist. And so I did a search with different communities around the country. And yeah, it's a real thing. And I'm just going to throw out there that I would do it for really, really cheap.
Thanks,
Seeing
Ron.
how yeah. So Dylan, you can let them know that too.
Well,
But,
you're on the record, so.
Okay. Hi, everybody out there. Please vote for me. Anyway, but yeah.
Vote Pedro.
But that, I think that's an excellent idea. And yes, if we are going to become a real player in this, which I want us to blow away every surrounding town. Is that a little too aggressive? Then yeah, I think we should definitely look into that.
Okay. Just to add a little bit from my perspective as someone who does a lot of planning for the town in advance for projects and whatnot. I do know that this upcoming budget cycle is rather tight already. And that I believe they're having I believe they're trying to work out how to hire their usual summer help for certain positions and programs. But that's just this cycle. I'm not sure what next cycle is going to bring, obviously, but just to let everyone know, it's probably not going to be this year, not in this budget cycle. Perhaps with Brian's help, you could get at least some interest for the next cycle.
Yeah. That's all we can ask for. And I mean, even, if Ron, what's minimum wage?
Yes, right. 15.
And so just starting somewhere. The last 3 years, it's always been a tight budget because of high school. And for the next 2 years, it's still going to be high school. And who knows what other stuff has been back burnered because of this, just because that's kind of the, elephant in the room until it's done. But to start and to make some progress, even a budget of, 20 grand or something. I mean, I think that would get us a really good chunk of hours. And, the way I envisioned it is to, help move things along. It's the grease, it gets all these little things done. And where we might be relying on outside contractors, and engineering companies and stuff like that. And Dylan, I bet they're probably between $100 and $200 an hour. If not more, and if we could handle, a bunch of that stuff ourselves, preliminary work where, we could help ourselves more. And especially if this is a position that, we have for a couple of years, then we can make a lot of progress. We have the connections with all the different government organizations, and those long-term connections where we want to make, the hard stuff, the root force, the jug handles, all these different things, working with, CT Bike Walk. It's things that we need to do if we want to make any big improvements beyond the low-hanging fruit that we've already done. And that's where, the existing town positions, everybody's just spread thin. There's a lot of projects, and there always will be. And our town has always been really great about being fiscally responsible, so the budget will always be tight. We just somehow need to, convince the board or the town council that, this is, whatever, $20,000 well spent, and in the big scheme of things, it's nothing compared to some of our other budget items.
Well said. Thank you, Andres.
Yeah, no, I agree with all this. I do think that what we should do is in our travails, take a look at what a scope of work might look like. And I bring that up because, bits and pieces of various departments within Farmington already does some of this work. And it would be useful, I think, to show our elected officials in the town, what 20 grand might pay for. What would it look like?
Okay.
Agreed.
Holding
I know.
babies, shaking hands.
Yeah, well, I mean, there actually is some of that, but I mean, Rose Ponte does some stuff. Dylan does some stuff. The engineering department does some stuff. The town manager's office does a few odds and ends. I mean, it'd be useful, I think, to carve out what the job description would look like.
Yeah, in the last 2 years, I'm not sure when Rose applied for her grant, but Rose's office applied for the grant that paid for the park benches and the bike rack at the center of Unionville. The town manager's office won a steep grant for the sidewalks of Meadow Road. And my office has always been working on roadways and sidewalks throughout town. And currently I'm in the position I'm in with you guys and working on the grant that we just submitted for the jug handle for the CTD trails, recreational trails grant.
And we love you for that.
So a lot of different town offices do serve that function. I'm probably the one that does the majority out of the 3 offices that I just listed, just because it's more so what I do day to day and what I do here with you guys as well. So for now, Ron, I guess you could put me down as the current bicycle pedestrian person in town. I don't think it would fall under anyone else.
But Dylan, how would you love to have an assistant to take care of this stuff 10 hours a week to?
I think everyone would love to have an assistant.
Especially someone so likable and friendly, right?
Yeah, I've got one other position in my mind that I'd like filled first, but that's a different story. So with that being said, thank you, Andres, for bringing that up. We'll move to old business. Item number 1 is the junk candle application.
Well, so can I just jump in here before the Dilaudid definitely kicks me off here? Okay, so this, I've been kind of going through social media with some people on this, and all right, so let me just get through this part real quick. So Bike Walk Weathersfield has come up with an interactive traffic calming map. So the members are highlighting certain town roads that they feel like the speed limits need to be reduced. They're going to then take their findings to the Bicycling and Pedestrian Advisory Committee, who will then recommend the improvements and then forward them to the, I guess it would either be the police department or town hall. And then just quickly to go with that, when Bill Nesper, Executive Director of the League of American Bicyclists, spoke at the Bike Walk Connecticut event last year, he said, "We know the most bicycle-friendly communities are ones that have embraced building networks of low-speed streets and context-appropriate bike facilities that create safe, comfortable connections for all people." So that's just kind of food for thought. That's just food for thought. No reason to debate that right now, but just wanted to throw it out there. Oh, and I'm recommending that this board take similar actions. So I guess it would be a debate. And one more thing. We spoke about, okay, this is new business. I'm sorry. Earth Day, trail cleanup. So we did it a couple years ago under the town umbrella because the Farmington Valley Trails Council now relies on each town to do it. We didn't get that much participation. So pretty much I sent this out to the Bike Walk Farmington board and I didn't get anything back. So if we are going to have our own bike trail cleanup, we either need people who are interested in helping, or we're just going to table it. We're not going to do it. So that would be Earth Day.
Okay.
And again, if anyone is interested, if you just let me know with an email in the next few days, because if not, then I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, and then the only things I have after that are old business that we've talked about already.
Okay.
Ron, on the town cleanup day, I mean the town does a pretty good job with the different cleanup stations.
Yep. So the
I don't know
only
if we
thing-
need to do anything official, because I mean, when we get it, we usually hit up part of the bike path, and I would think a lot of people would do that on their own too, right?
Yep, and you're totally right. So the only advantage would be is that we would get exposure. That would be the only reason. And seeing as we don't have a new bike walk canopy yet, it actually doesn't make sense to do it this year until we get one, since that would be most of the exposure. All right.
All right.
We're not doing it. Okay, cool.
All right. Old business item number 1, jug handle application for the Connecticut Deep Recreational Trails Grant. That has been submitted. We had a total of 4 letters of support from Krog, Mike D'Amico, Farmington Valley Trails Council, and the East Coast Greenway Alliance all supplied letters of support for the application. The total grant or the total project comes out to about 260 grand. And then the the total grant amount is $208,000 because the town is required to match 20% of the funds. So that has been submitted and is currently under review. Item number 2 is the Bike League application update, if any.
Yep. So we did have a shortened meeting one day, and we're meeting again at the end of this week. And I believe we had talked about at some point getting as many members as possible involved to fill in some of the blanks and just give some feedback, some input. So, Carolyn, have we figured out about when that should be?
Well, let's see. I would just give us maybe 1 month and have that be kind of when we let kind of open it up to people. So maybe next meeting or the meeting after for us, I mean, for the advisory committee.
Okay, so we would make that a separate meeting, correct? Yeah. Not attached to this.
We could
Yeah.
either do it in substitute of what we usually cover in this meeting, or it can be done as a separate meeting. Should the committee choose to do a separate meeting.
Okay, I'm gonna vote for separate, only because I don't want to miss out on this fun. But yes. So we will keep in touch again through email so we don't waste time hashing out a date right here.
Okay. Carolyn, if you
All
wouldn't
right.
mind sending myself some of the items that you guys need help with,
Yes.
just so that I can start taking a look at it and distributing it to the right people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
And then also distributing it to the group ahead of time. Perhaps some of them can look at it and answer the prompt with an email, just to keep things moving.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Sounds good.
Item number 3 is Farmington Valley Trails Council update. I know personally that we are installing another pad for a bench that was donated to the trail. That's going over by at the end of Railroad Avenue. It will be done in the same fashion that the pad was poured in October of last year over by the Collinsville Bridge off of Route 4 by the parking lot. The bench will be set off to the side to allow someone in a wheelchair space to sit as well next to the park bench. So that should be, the bench isn't here yet, but I believe they are doing the pad, or they have already done the pad. We marked it out just a couple of weeks ago.
And where is that going, Dylan?
The new bench is going
Yeah.
at the end of Railroad Avenue on the trail over there.
On the trail, though.
Yes, on the trail,
Okay.
not on the road portion. Yep. It's probably about 100 yards off the road or something like that, maybe 200. It's not too far off the road, but it's far enough. It's the family is a young family with children who often walk through there to school, and they have recently lost their father, so they wanted the bench to be on their route to school.
Cool. Is that around where all the erosion was this spring?
It's before
this
the
winter?
erosion if you're
Before
walking
that, okay.
towards it from Railroad Avenue.
Okay, thank you. Because I know the reason I'm asking is I know there's already a couple of benches in there.
There are.
Down towards the, I don't know, it's not a boat launch, but it's the little.
The fishing, I think they call it a
Fishing.
fishing pier.
Okay,
I wouldn't call it a fishing pier, but that's what I've been told it's called.
okay. That's where Carolyn's Bridge is gonna go.
Yeah. It's actually
And if we
before
win
that.
the
So-
lottery, it's good.
So Neil, it's before all of those benches, closer more to the road.
Okay, thank you.
The benches are visible, but there is a a lot of homes in that area, so I figured one more wouldn't hurt too bad.
Yeah.
And this would be the only one that has a concrete pad, where a wheelchair or someone that has difficult mobility issues could go up next to the bench. Because the other
Okay.
ones are just posts in the ground with no flat surface other than the ground. So as flat
Okay.
as that can be.
All right. Look forward to seeing it.
Yep. Additionally, the water fountain has been delivered in the last couple weeks. And we're looking to work with Connecticut Water to get that installed. Supposedly there's already I forget if there's a water meter already in place or if the lateral has just been placed off of the water main. That was done in anticipation a few years ago when they did work at this section. This is going to go over by the new Britton Ave parking lot. I believe it's the one over by Red Oak Hill.
And what's the name of that? The name on the sign? I'm kidding.
Oh, I don't know what the name
Sorry.
of the sign is.
No,
I
but
don't know.
if I can just say that the entire Farmington Valley Trails Council board is just totally in love with what they're doing.
Oh, thank you, Ron.
Yes, okay. No, but thanks for all your help.
Yeah,
I've,
so
I've got a good fundraiser idea. So we could raffle off the right to name a parking lot, and that could pay for the bike ped part-time position.
Wow.
that's how schools do
It
it.
could be the Ron Goralski parking lot, and Ron, you
No,
could pay for your own
please
position.
no. Please no. Thanks anyway.
Yeah, so those are just two items I'd like to update the group on. If any of the other members have any updates for the Trails Council.
Well, there are a whole bunch of events that we went over, and
Yep.
I don't have my clipboard in front of me, so what I'll do is I'll put those all together and I'll send out an email.
Okay.
Lots of
Bruce,
good stuff happening.
Bruce, I had a question on our neighborhood Facebook group. Somebody said that a ton of trees were cut down on the bike path, and they wanted to know why, and they're sad about the loss of shade and all that. And I didn't jump in to respond, but I figured it was due to black walnut roots tearing up the trail again, or
We do tree trimming for a number of reasons.
okay.
Neil, you probably recall we recently last year went to the Wetlands Commission for a number of trees to be either trimmed or cleared entirely. And before we do any serious tree trimming, we always have an arborist, a licensed arborist come out, or a trained arborist come out, and they help us select trees that can stay, go, if the tree is diseased or if the tree is not going in the right direction. We manage all that with an arborist, with a professional arborist. And I know that the section between Brickyard Road and Red Oak Hill will see some serious tree clearing and trimming as we prepare for the trail lowering in between the Farmington River and the Big Bird Bridge for the development that's going in there.
Okay.
That the town planning and zoning board thought would be appropriate to lower the trail there to allow access to the park on the northern side and the amenities that are offered as part of the development, which will include some retail and some riverside trail space.
Is that going forward? Because the last I heard it was on hold, but
I believe they're moving forward
okay.
at some point. I don't know when right now. I know it's still planned to move forward. I think that the Surviving developer is still working on acquiring the rest of the property through the deceased developer's estate. I'm not sure where that is.
Okay.
Hey,
So
Dylan,
it's not
question on
going to
that.
happen soon.
I wouldn't think this year at this point,
Yeah.
or at least in the immediate future. Maybe towards the end of the year, you'll start to see more action. But I don't think anything this spring.
Okay.
Dylan, when they talk about that, are they talking about like an off ramp, or are you actually going to bring the trail down and put it back up to go over the river again?
The whole trail, a portion of the trail is going to dip down. I forget how much, but for now we'll just say the trail is going to dip down about 10 feet. Maybe it's a bit more. Maybe it's 15 feet, whatever the actual number is. But I believe it's a 5% slope on either side. And that's just so that they can easily get a ramp up there that isn't, traversing the whole slope all the way from river to Route 4, which would be rather long itself.
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
been
an
a number.
accessibility thing.
It's been a number of years, but I consulted on that when they, because one of the issues was we wanted to try to make sure the grade wasn't above, ADA compliance,
Yeah.
all of that stuff, and it does check out. So, I haven't seen the design in quite a while, but there is a design to essentially bring it down.
That's right.
And the other thing I mentioned, by the way, on tree cutting, is that Burlington's going for another grant to redo the river trail from the Farmington line up to the big parking lot. And it's a familiar problem because if you don't cut the black locust back, it just comes back to haunt you. And that's exactly what the problem in Burlington is.
Well, the other major problem there too is the drainage is horrible.
Yeah.
They got to redo the drainage to fix that problem, and then, like you said, the other issue.
That was a big part of the grant because I talked to Scott Tyro about this, and a big part of the new design, in fact, is to fix that. That's always been the problem, that swamp. Coming off the highway and essentially just flooding over. They got to stop that.
Yeah.
But essentially, ultimately, it's best practices for invasive species, and that's the problem. It's just there's no earthly reason why you should have to every 8-10 years have a new capital project to repave these things if they can be cut back in a correct manner. They are going to redo apparently the opaque root. What do they call it? It's not fabric, but it's actually panels of plastic that they use, that they trench down on the sides of the trail, and it keeps the root incursion from happening. I know that they're specifying that too. So, we'll see if they get the grants, obviously. But yeah, I mean, best practices has changed a lot in trail design, where you've got a problem with invasive species. So that's what the story is.
Thank you. Does anyone have anything else to share tonight before we adjourn and prove?
Can I just make a quick comment?
February?
Could I make a quick comment?
Of course, Rich.
Yeah. First of all, congratulations on getting that grant application in. I'm very happy to hear that. I just wanted to say that publicly. And secondly, just a question about that area. It looks like the DOT is getting ready to pave that area, and they did some tree trimming as well, and they've got the road marked up. And I was just curious, does the town know anything about what they're doing there? Are they making it the roads wider at all?
No, I don't believe so. I believe this is a mill and overlay project.
Okay.
They're going to be repairing some of the existing catch basins. They cut those out last year, as you may recall. The state also just installed brand new wrong way signage on the junk handle portion, the handle portion itself. Those are automated with cameras and lights, I believe. So as a vehicle or moving object is going in the wrong direction, the lights will be illuminated, or the signs will be illuminated. When that happens is my understanding, at least. So I don't think
Is that
they're
is that on the
widening.
jug handle or the entrance ramp?
That's on the handle itself.
Okay.
Yeah, not something you would notice if you were going the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like an odd place because I would think more of the wrong way would be on the entrance ramp. But
that's what I thought too.
Maybe it's a
but
start. Yeah, it's a start.
Sure. Yeah, as far as I'm aware, Rich, right now it's a mill and overlay project. I don't believe they're doing a deep reconstruction of the road. They may elect to do certain portions where they might have to dig out and repair certain parts of the road that have significant fatigue. But other than that, I believe it's mill and overlay with some drainage repairs.
All right, I'll take it. That'll be a smoother ride in. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm not sure when they're starting that, but I know they've been marking it out late in the last week or two.
Dylan, one quick question. Are they repaving from the bridge in Unionville out into Burlington, Route 4? Is that going to be happening? I saw they cut some of the
Yes.
catch basins.
So Collinsville Bridge out to Burlington, Canton. Yeah, I believe so.
So question,
they're also doing two other projects in town. They're both pedestrian crosswalks. One is at the off-ramp for the Route 6 off-ramp over by Wolf Pit. There is a pedestrian crossing that leads a pedestrian into the island with no escape. But that's what the DOT is doing instead of adding a new crossing to give that pedestrian an escape off the island. But that was an argument we had and they didn't care for it. And then they are also doing they are also upgrading the pedestrian signalization at the intersection of Knollwood Road and Route 4. One of those will be mid-April and the other one will be end of May. So early June.
Dylan,
Okay,
with the Knollwood one, are they actually getting a dedicated cross light where it's not shared with a green light or a crosswalk, or do you know what they're doing with that one?
I'd have to look at the phasing plan again. Let me see if I can pull it up.
Yeah, right now it shares it with a green light, so you get the walk, but at the same time everybody's trying to Jones out of there because it's like a 30-second light and the 3 cars stacked up zoom through.
Yeah. The issue there is timing. It's just not timed. It's not timed correctly. Yeah.
Yeah, well, right now it shares the walk signal shares it with the green light, where the cars. So, but yeah, I'm guessing you're right with the timing where it's integrated with Brickyard and Unionville
and. I am not a traffic engineer.
We can take it offline. I was just curious. I mean, whatever's going to happen.
I will let you know. But at a glance, it looks like it's still a 2-phase run, but they might have. Yeah, it looks like it's still a 2-phase run. So accessible pedestrian signal 7/7/11. I have to figure out where that is.
Yeah, I just figure that's a nice win. If that is improved, I could share it within the neighborhood and get people on board with, hey, we're good stuff is happening.
Yeah, I'll have to see how they oh, they are doing cameras. Oh wait, that's the wrong plan. They are not doing cameras.
I'd be surprised if they did cameras there. But I would like to see, better timing and, proper pedestrian buttons and, all that stuff.
Well, it was nice having the crosswalk, just west of there, actually
Yeah.
working. That's, I noticed people actually stop for us now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I saw somebody stop there the other day. I was impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're going to be repainting the crosswalks, new ramps, new ped signals. I'm just not seeing. No, it's still two-phase with a pedestrian, with an accessible pedestrian signal, but it's not clear if that's a phase. It just says it's an interval. So I'd have to look into that more, just because I'm not well versed in the whole traffic intersection, since we only control one in town, and we applied for a program last year that the state would upgrade it for us. So
Did we get it?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It's a pilot program, so it wasn't even clear if it was going to come to fruition anyways. They were just trying to see if they had interest in it, which obviously they did.
So I'll ask this on behalf of Ron, because maybe his meds aren't kicking in, but I know he'd be thinking about this. When are the portalets going to be delivered? Because we're in that 2-week period before we get another foot of snow. So
the porta potties?
yeah.
They're typically more towards, I think, middle of April. I can check with our development coordinator, who does all that.
It was first or second week of April last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was April 11th is when they were delivered.
If you guys get desperate, the EBM parking lot has 3 of mine there for the race, so you could always stop there. Which
the
by the
parking
way,
lots the last couple of weekends have been jammed. So
well, what's interesting is this year we included the collegiate racers, and we've been getting people from all the way up as far as Rutland, all the way far west as West Point showing up at the race. We had over 300 riders in the first race this year, which is fantastic. So
holy cow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Matt, how did you do?
Oh, I got killed. I'm an old guy and I'm not very fast, but the race is going well,
Nice.
It's been a very successful event this year. I'm just hoping, like with Bruce and I were talking, that they don't put in the speed bump on the course and we lose the course.
Yeah, we've got a few juniors that are racing there that are, young kids, the 9 to 12s and loving it.
I think what Matt said to me is he felt he was a Volkswagen and everybody else was a racing cars when he was going around.
Poor Matt.
Matt, you're in
Nice
better
job,
shape than
though.
I am. I'm doing my first
Nice.
bike commute tomorrow, so
Nice job though, Matt. That's awesome.
Not smart enough to give up.
I'm race cross.
No,
Gotta get
if I'm racing, I want to get on the bike at the beginning, get off the bike at the end. None of this jumping on and off between. But by the way, there will be a cross event at Winding Trails
Yes,
this
I
year
heard that.
on the 8th. So I'm going to come help out with that.
8th of September, or
Yes, it's run by Jed Kornblue out of West Hartford, a very good
cool.
promoter.
Excellent. Yeah. Yeah, Jed used to run CCAP.
Yeah.
So I did have a couple more things just that are very quick. The town website desperately needs to be updated for the bicycling resources. Who would I get in touch with, or how does that get done, Dylan?
I'm sorry, I was reading an email about the porta potties.
Okay, the town website still has BFF and it just needs to be updated.
Yes, that's actually something I wanted to do at some point this year with all of you, is to go through our link on the town website and thoroughly update
Okay.
it. It doesn't need to be in the same format that it's currently in. I don't believe. I believe our IT department's pretty flexible on that. So a little homework, I guess, is look to see what other town bicycle web pages look like and get a sense of that. And we can do that either at the next meeting or a little bit further down this year. But our website on
All right, why don't we,
Farmington's website definitely needs to be updated.
yes.
So
All right, why don't we try to get that done sooner rather than later?
So a couple things on that. Bike Walk Connecticut just got a grant to redo their website. So we're now starting to redo the content on that. I don't know when it's going to go into beta, but probably in a couple of months is my guess. But so that's out there. But I bring it up because we're updating essentially all the links around the state. So don't reinvent the wheel, Ron. Let's you know, that stuff we can use. There's a lot of stuff that we can use, but it absolutely needs an update for sure. I looked at it the other day, Dylan, and it needs some help.
It's very outdated. I don't think a lot of the links work anymore. So yeah, it needs some help. I was trying to write it down on just a piece of printer paper last year. I just never got around to finishing it up, looking into it. I was just doing it in my free time. But all right. My email is crashing, but the email I was just reading said that we had porta potties last year from May 15th to October 15th. I believe it was.
Oh,
Yeah, May 15th to October 15th, plus or minus. I believe that it was delivered in April or at least May 1st. I know it was earlier. I believe it was earlier than May 15th. And I know that the pickup was in November of last year, not October.
Yeah, I know they were there for quite a while, but yeah, if we can get them in April, I mean, the springs are just coming earlier and earlier every year.
Yep.
Well, you know, Burlington has theirs all year round.
Yeah, the one in for Route 4. I think they have two in the for a good chunk of the year, but they leave one up year round.
Yeah. So I believe last year we had an extra month of porta potties. I believe it was 2 weeks at the end and 2 weeks at the beginning, or about that. Maybe it was a week in the beginning and 3 weeks at the end. But I believe it was an extra month on top of what we normally scheduled. With our with the company that we use for the porta potties, we give them the guidelines of installed by May 15th and removed in October, which they have as mid-October, mid-May. So I did find that out, but I do believe it was late April, if not very early May to early mid-November. So
all right, and there's probably no way of changing that to mid-April. I'm just asking for the people.
no, I hear you. I'm not sure if they've set things up yet. They usually do it at the end of February, I'm seeing in the email chain.
Mm-hmm.
But they've been doing those dates for quite some time now, it looks like. At least back to 2021, 2020 even. So
Okay. Maybe
for
we
the
can
last few
find
years, it's been those dates. But I do know that last year our secretary was able to get things pushed around a little bit so that they were out there longer.
Okay.
Is there a
Alright.
reason they couldn't be there a bit longer? Is there something standing in the way?
I think it's just the cost and what we have available on that account for what's dedicated, because all of this is budgeted ahead of time. And it's probably just a rollover item that doesn't get much attention each budget cycle, would be my guess, is why it doesn't really change too often.
I know we had mentioned a corporate donor in the past. Is that against any type of town, whatever rules or,
I'm not sure.
okay. All right.
I wouldn't think so, but I'm not sure.
And the other thing, I just want to keep Lily's ribbon cutting, and I did not find out when that's going to be done. So I just wanted to try to get a few dignitaries on hand for that. For the bike rack. I'm sorry, I didn't elaborate on that. For the bike rack near the community senior center.
And police station.
Yes. I think that would be a
And
nice
you
little.
said last meeting that she had completed the bike rack.
Carolyn, do you happen to know?
It's done.
It's done.
It's done.
I think it's
Yeah.
I could double check.
It's gonna be great to see some pictures.
Yeah, if Lily would like to do some kind of grand opening on a nice spring day, that's something I'm sure we can pull together. We can see if CJ or the new town chair, Joe Capitafiero, would like to attend as well, or other council members as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure we could get
email
Mike.
you and Lily about it, Dylan.
Huh?
Should I email you directly, like CC Lily about it, just to kind of get on the same page, or what?
Yeah, or if you could, are you guys still working with her on the grant? Is she still working on the grant?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Next time you see her, if that's something she wants to do or needs to do for her
Gold
Girl
project.
Scouts
Yeah.
project, yeah, just have her let me know, and we can set something up.
Okay, we should be
Okay.
seeing tomorrow or the day after, so.
Yeah. Okay,
And we would need you there too, Dylan.
I can make an effort to be there.
Okay, and the last thing is also on the bike friendly community application, wayfinding through our neighborhoods. So you know where I'm leading to the
Yeah,
highlands.
I don't know if, what if we use that micro grant for trail signage and an installation?
Okay, why is that going to end up being the sticking point? Is the money for that?
I'm not sure right now. We're still waiting for the budget to be finalized.
Okay.
I'm not sure where things are gonna end up and what's gonna get extra money and what's gonna get money taken away.
Are you talking about those $5,000 DOT micro grants?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be perfect for this.
yeah,
And by the way, it's first come, first served. So if you're thinking about it, get your get it done fast.
Bruce, is each municipality only allowed one micro grant, or can
No,
they
no,
go-
they're allowed two.
They're allowed
But-
two. So
but-
Ron, we can go for signage and then for training for bicycle instructors.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Unless someone else has something else that is worthwhile.
No, I like both those things. It's a good idea.
Yeah, especially if we're going to be doing seminars.
Yeah. And as
if
far as
it's-
this, as far as the signage, I think I speak for most of us when to say that we were hoping that this was just going to be the beginning of of connecting, of connectivity, you know, connecting the trail to different neighborhoods. So yeah, it would be nice to have that.
Okay,
Yeah, I agree that this is step one.
all right.
Definitely.
Yes.
I can, if we get the grant, I can look to see, did everyone like the sign at the Unionville Pocket Park at the corner of South Main and New Britain Avenue? The Welcome to Unionville sign?
We're not,
Did we?
I'm not envisioning things that big. I'm
No,
envisioning-
no,
Yeah, okay.
neither am I, Neil.
Okay.
But, I can contact or have Rose get me in contact with the company that made that sign, to see if they've done other things, for other towns off of the trail and things like that. I know that they
Oh,
do
yeah.
a few municipalities, they serve a few municipalities for signage, and a lot of corporate businesses as well.
Okay.
So they might have something in their inventory already, or at
Okay.
least a good idea that I can at least present to the committee.
Okay. Yeah, that sign looks nice, but I'm thinking even something like the old Farmington Greenway, you know, the blue and green signs. Yeah, just something that size. We're just talking about marking routes out.
Okay,
It's like the Appalachian Trail where you're painting the marks on the trees.
okay,
Little 4x6 sign, you know, that goes, you know, underneath some other sign.
Yeah,
okay,
the only thing with too much smaller than that is you lose the visual acquisition of the sign itself.
Right.
So there's considered to be kind of a minimum size these days. And I've got tons and tons of pictures of signage, as you can imagine. So let me see if I can call a bunch out and send them around to everybody.
yeah, pick out a few good ones that you think would fit the use case, and
Yeah.
I'll be happy to take a look and see what we can do.
Yeah.
And
Now the only issue, as you know, is we want to try to use MUTCD blanks because they're cheap.
yes,
And we don't want weird one-off sizes because it gets to be damned expensive. So
yeah, signs are getting up there.
yeah, they are. So yeah, okay.
All right, thank you, Bruce. All right,
I'm all done.
okay. Does anyone have anything else to add tonight? Not seeing anything. All right. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from February's meeting? If anyone's had the chance to review those.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you,
Second.
Andres. Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
All opposed? Fantastic. It is unanimous. All right, so we will adjourn for tonight. I have 8:19. Thank you everyone for joining in tonight.
Thank you,
I will
Dylan.
see you next month, if not earlier.